Hi everyone, my name is Amber, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the Luminous Dead. So as always, my review isn't going to contain any spoilers unless I specifically say. This one definitely will not because I don't have that much to spoil you on. I'm going to start off with a short summary of the book and then I'm going to get into my thoughts. So the Luminous Dead is about a woman whose name I think is pronounced Gyre. Could be Gyre, but I've been saying Gyre, and she is a professional caver. She is hired by someone called M who speaks to her in her earpiece. Gyre has to go into a cave system in order to do some things that M wants her to do. While she's in the caves, Gyre starts to feel like she's being followed or watched, and the resources that are supposed to be down there, according to M, are going missing. So Gyre wonders if there's something else down there with her. That's the summary I'm going to give you. Now on to my thoughts. So the plot isn't really what I expected. So going into it, I thought that this was going to be set on an abandoned planet. The main character would be going on some kind of mission underneath this planet, and that is kind of what it was, but it was more so that the planet is inhabited by people, but the people there aren't very well off, and there are mining companies that try to go into cave systems like this one and get all the resources they can before abandoning the planet. So despite the book not really being what I expected at first, I did really enjoy the plot of it. I think that the main plot that you're kind of introduced to in the beginning was over a bit too quickly. I don't want to say what it is because that would spoil the last half of the book because it's over that quickly, but I was expecting things to take a lot longer to progress and that the climax of the book would be a bit different. But instead we got to what I thought was going to be the end point about a third, maybe half of the way through, and then the book took a turn that I was not expecting and we had to follow Gyre doing something else. It was unexpected but still really enjoyable. I thought that the plot was very fast paced and it was very creepy. I felt very claustrophobic the entire time. So I have been caving before, and it wasn't really caving, it was more amateur caving. I went along with a tour guide in some really shallow caves in Cheddar Gorge. But anyway, I still had the experience to know what caving felt like, even if it was amateur caving. So I thought the book was very atmospheric. So I felt very claustrophobic and also trapped as I was reading this book. And I think even if you don't have that same caving experience, I think you would still find this book very, very creepy because Gyre is going through some dark and tight tunnels with dead ends and sheer drops, and it's just quite scary. My cat has decided now is the time to eat. In addition to the caving thing, there's also the feeling that Gyre is being watched or followed. So that also added an element of suspense to the book, and I really enjoyed that. I will say that that suspense feeling kind of dropped off towards the end of the book. I was feeling it a lot in the beginning for the first half, and then like I said, in the middle of the book it kind of took a turn. The suspenseful feelings and the feeling of being trapped in the cave also kind of felt a little bit different to me. Not that Gyre wasn't still trapped in a cave, but the vibe was a little bit different, I think. So the only two characters in this book are Gyre and M. M is literally just a voice in Gyre's ear as she's guiding her through the tunnels, and Gyre obviously is the main character. So I don't think I've really felt a massive connection to Gyre or M, but mainly Gyre. I did find that her personality was kind of a bit odd in some places. So she was quite an outspoken main character, and she was quite forceful as well in the way that she spoke. Sometimes she would just randomly feel really angry, and I didn't really understand why, because she would kind of kick off at things that I personally thought were okay, and then other times she would be really calm about it and I would be like, are you not going to say anything to this? Do you not find it a bit like, do you not think it should be something that you address? Yeah, I felt a bit disconnected to her because I didn't really understand her views or her personality all that much. And then M is obviously, like I said, the voice in the ear, so we don't really know her that well, and I found M to be very strange, and I know it's very difficult for an author to introduce a character who's not actually present, who's just a voice, but authors can do it because they do it with AI and things in science fiction all the time. So my feelings for both of the characters were a bit iffy because I didn't like M all that much because of the stuff that she was doing, and I didn't like Gyre all that much because I found it very hard to connect with her, although she was very interesting to read about. But I think that's more the circumstances that she was in rather than her personality or her character. I forgot to say that I buddy read this with my friend Justine, and I think we both had some fun with it. So we had very similar feelings in regards to the characters, and we both did find it very spooky, and we found it to be a very fast read as well. I sped through the last half of the book when it took the turn it did because I just wanted to know what was going to happen, because it did kind of turn things on its head and it wasn't what I was expecting, so I was very keen to find out what was going on. There was one thing that I thought was going to be more relevant than it was. It kind of built up, it's really difficult to talk about without spoiling it, but it kind of built up to this thing being a bigger deal than it was, and then when things came to a head it was kind of over and done with and brushed aside, so that was a bit disappointing. I don't think the climax of this book was as strong as it could have been considering the suspenseful build-up. I think if you're going to do a suspenseful claustrophobic build-up like this, you need to have a really good conflict and climax at the end, but this book didn't really have that. It kind of just trickled on. Overall, I did really enjoy this book. I would definitely recommend reading it, especially in October. I don't think it's an incredible read by any means, but I'll probably give it 3.5 to 4 stars because it was very much an enjoyable one, and it is one that I would recommend if you want to read a good sci-fi horror book. Thank you so much for watching this review. If you've read this book, let me know what you think of it in the comments below, and I'll be back soon with another video. Bye!